everybody and welcome to Feel Better Eating. This is a whole food plant-based experience that has the intention of educating you about the health benefits of eating plants, inspiring you to try new recipes and having a lot of fun. That's what cooking is all about. I'll be flying solo today. My name is Joshua. It's good to see new faces in the audience. Welcome everybody here in Michigan City. I appreciate you being here and the people watching on YouTube. Today we have, as always, a certified banger of a recipe. It's going to be using a locally grown vegetable that grows in great abundance, so much so that you can run out of ideas on how to use it. But I'm going to show you a recipe how you can incorporate it to make a sweet treat, and we're going to build on the running theme of this show that sweet, tasty, really nourishing treats don't have to be unhealthy or detrimental to your health. If you choose the right ingredients, they can be health foods and still taste great. So today we're going to be making zucchini bread pancakes, leveraging locally grown zucchinis. This one was grown right here at the Grace Learning Centre, but this one was grown in our garden back in Niles. And if you've ever grown these, has anyone ever grown these in the audience? It's honestly amazing. They can grow with the right conditions in the Midwest, perfect conditions. They can grow like 2 inches a day, and some days you won't have any, and then 3 days later you'll have like this. And we've had ones out of the garden this year like this big. So if you let them grow too long, they'll just keep growing and growing and growing. So they're very abundant, but you can run out of ways to cook them, and putting them into pancakes is a really good way. And it's very simple, so we're gonna get into it. We're first gonna mix the wet ingredients. I'm gonna start off with just a regular banana. This will help with the potassium in the meal. I'm gonna bang that in there. Put that in there. And then we're gonna be using a plant-based milk as the wet here. Obviously, it's closed. You can use all the different types of milk here. We're using almond because it's sweet, and these are going to be pancakes. But cashew milk is also nice in this. So we're going to put a cup of that in there. I'm going to give it a mash. Can you see this? Can you see this in the...
Yes. Yeah.
Good deal. So we're just going to mash this up. Pretty simple. This recipe is very easy, it's very quick, and it's tasty. Give this a good mash. You could probably do this in a food processor as well if you wanted, but a fork is pretty good. And depending on how chunky you like your pancakes, you can leave the banana in thicker pieces there if you like. But then we're going to add into that. This is the main event of this dish. In Europe we call this a courgette. Have you ever heard that term?
No.
No, we call it a courgette. I think it's a French word. But here they call them zucchinis. And this is just 2 cups. This recipe is scaled, but I just grated this super easy. And I left the skin on because I grew it in our garden, so I know that it doesn't have any pesticides, insecticides, any of that nonsense. It's just as it's intended to be, and I think the skin adds a nice flavour, extra flavour to it. So just grate 2 of those in, bang that in there. For sweetness, we're going to be adding maple syrup. We're going to go for 2 tablespoons. This is a very easy to understand sugar, and it's obviously real tasty, and again, grows locally. Bang that in there. Wow, lovely that. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And then we're going to be adding some coconut oil. This is going to help with the cooking process. It's going to stop it from sticking so much, but it's also a superfood. We use coconut in a lot of these recipes because it's good for many bodily functions, and it also helps with the satiation. So sometimes when you... Oh, this is a bit stuck. Sometimes when you eat plant-based dishes, they don't always feel overly satiating because the ingredients burn so fast, but when you add good fats in like this, they'll satiate you for longer. So I'm doing very well with this, really. Should have probably melted that beforehand because it might not mix in there, but we'll do our best. And then we're going to be adding in chocolate. This is optional, but we obviously want chocolate in the pancakes. But again, it comes down to choosing the right chocolate. This one is, I'll show you the packet. We use it on the show all the time, but it's the Enjoy Life. It doesn't have any unknown ingredients in, just very easy to understand: cocoa butter, cane sugar, and then cacao. It comes in this suit and it's real tasty. And again, if you're using the right ingredients, you can eat tasty and healthy. It all comes down to the saucing. So we're going to be mixing this in here. And what we're essentially going to be doing is just making like a regular pancake batter. That's what we're going for. Just going to be mixing this around here. Oof. I mean, you could probably just cook that as is, and you get something out of it, maybe like a zucchini frittata or something, I don't know. But what we're going to do, obviously, instead, put these down here. We're going to be adding in the dry ingredients, which I prepared earlier, but super simple. In there's just 2 cups of oat flour. We're using oat flour because this then becomes a gluten-free dish. I struggle with the wheat and gluten in other flours, but you can use those. They're obviously still plant-based. In there's baking powder to help these fluff up and rise, and there's also salt to taste, but salt also has a lot of benefits for us as long as it's the right salt. So in this one we have just sea salt, fine. It's maybe not the best one you could ever get, this one, but as long as you choose the right salt in the right amounts, it's very good for us. So we're going to be adding this into here and giving it a stir. And then if our ratios are correct and we've scaled this recipe, I've never made this many in one go, this will come out like a handy dandy pancake batter. Oh yeah, perfect. Obviously if it looks a little dry when you're finished, you can add more wet ingredients, and vice versa. If it looks a little bit too wet, this is looking pretty nominal. Has anybody ever had zucchinis in sweet dishes? You ever had zucchini cake? Zucchini bread?
Yeah.
Zucchini bread. This is essentially, if you put this in a bread tin and baked it, it would be zucchini bread. It's almost identical. It's just that we're going to do it in the pancake form because I like pancakes. There we go. Lovely job. Easy peasy. I would have, if I could go back in time, I would have melted the coconut oil, because you probably can't see it, but there are little chunks of it. And I think the recipe does say to melt it, but it is what it is. And then we're going to be using this handy dandy little heater thing. Here we go. Come on. Pause, time, hot pot. There we go. This thing cooks really fast, so I'm going to put it at 390. In fact, I'll probably start at 350. This gets hot very fast. But obviously if you're using your own pans, you'll know how they work. And then we're going to cook them just like regular pancakes. I'm going to start off with a little bit of coconut oil. This will help stop them sticking and make it just a little bit easier, because nobody enjoys stuffed pancakes. So I'm just going to move this around here. Yeah, it gets hot real fast, this thing. And then we're going to take this scoop. I'm just going to portion out probably half a cup per pancake. And then we're just going to bang that in there. I'm just going to cook a couple and then we'll cook them after for you guys to enjoy. I'm going to flatten this down a little bit. Depending on how thick you like them, you can leave them thick. I'm just going to do... That's a big old pancake, that. Oh well. And we're going to cook these just again like regular pancakes, to where it's to your own preference. I like mine like probably on the browner side, and then the chocolate will melt more readily as well. But if the consistency is good, which it looks good, we're going to get air bubbles coming up. going to puff up, that baking soda is going to go, and we're going to have a real nice looking pancake. You can see the green here from the, I keep saying courgette, from the zucchini. Real nice. I don't know if you can you see these little air bubbles popping out? Probably, you can, yeah, great. So I'm just going to let that go for a couple of minutes per side. And then as for toppings, you can obviously choose really. As for toppings, you can choose whatever you want. I just like usually maple syrup with extra banana, but we've got extra chocolate here. If you want to put that on too, it's really up to you. Yeah, we're going to give this a flip. Try this one. This pan is not the easiest shape to deal with. The chocolate's melting. I'll give that another couple of minutes. Okay. Give it a couple of minutes. It's super easy, right? What we've been doing this 10 minutes. It took me 10 minutes to prepare. So when it comes to making pancakes at home, obviously, depending on the ingredients you use, they can be, you eat them and then you have to go to sleep for like 3 hours, or you eat these and be like, woo! It's all about the ingredients. Let me see if we can give this a flip. Oh! We're getting there. It's going to come out a random shape, I think. It might be a little bit overdone. It looks as if this might stick as well because I didn't re-coconut oil the side, but we'll see how we get on. If we need to cook another one for the camera, we will. But it will taste good, I can guarantee that. And we'll try this one as well because I only put 2 tablespoons of maple syrup in. And it may be more beneficial to add more in. So it goes a long way, this. That was just 1 zucchini in there. And this is probably going to make 6 or 7 of these. I think that goes a pretty long way. Does anybody have any questions?
What do you say about the thickness of the batter when you add, if it's not good enough?
Yeah, I think it's just personal choice. Obviously, the thinner you go, the faster it will cook. The thicker, I like it thicker because I like it creamy in the middle, but I think it's personal choice. This is just, yeah, it's not sticking too bad. I just forgot to put the, I'll move it over here. There we go. I just forgot to put reapply the, I've never cooked on this pan either for pancakes. I usually use the cast iron. The cast iron just doesn't stick. You don't really, you put oil on it once and it's pretty much done, whereas this is, as you can see, it's kind of doing its own thing. But looking pretty good. Chocolate's melting. And Kate labelled these bread pancakes because, as I said, this is the same batter that you'd use for, not sure about that. It'd be the same, you could bake that in the oven and it would just turn into a bread. As you can see, the oil is now smoking. It's why we don't do too much frying outside of cast irons, because it always seems to burn. But this should be done. We'll flip back, yeah, we're done. And just like that. Boom, boom, boom. So what I'm going to do for this one, I'm just going to move this out of the way so Kevin can see. I'm going to move this over here. Sorry about the smoke. Thing. I'm just going to get a little chopping board here. Get this. Not sure. I'm just going to do a little bananas on the top, just thinly sliced. obviously get fancy. Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. A few little ones of these on there. Get a little bit of maple syrup on the top. Look at that, come on. And there you have it, and what was that, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
Job done. That's a zucchini bread pancake topped with bananas. Can you see that, Kevin?
Yeah.
So, as I said, if you choose the right ingredients and the right methodology, tasty, healthy snacks like this don't have to be, well, they wouldn't be healthy if they weren't healthy. But pancakes, for example, don't have to be a food that is detrimental to your health. If you just choose wholesome ingredients like what we've got here, and you can grow these at home or at wherever, super great. I'm excited for you to try this. We're going to have everybody come up, we'll cook pancakes and do different toppings. I appreciate you all being here. This recipe will be available on our website as always, and I encourage you to go try it. Real easy, a lot of fun, got loads of people coming. It's a good recipe to do. And if you are growing zucchinis, you will realise very fast, I've got so many of these I don't know what to do with, and this is a great way to use them up. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Joshua, this has been Feel Better Eating, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Much love, peace. Cool, who wants this one? Thank you to all of our show sponsors and supporters who make this show possible. The Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte, Grace Learning Centre, Citizens Concern for the Homeless, and ALCO, Access LaPorte County. We appreciate all of your support.